is that Allah did not say after difficulty, ease comes. He doesn't use the word after. He used the word with. Inna ma'a al-usri yusra. ولم يقل إن بعد العسر يسرا. فهناك فرق بين كلمة مع وبين كلمة بعد. There's a big difference between saying with difficulty there is ease and saying after difficulty there is ease. There's a big difference. At least two differences in this khutbah I want to share with you. One difference is, maybe as you are going through a difficulty, that difficulty came with some other ease that you didn't even realize at the same time. Maybe as hard as this is, the alternative would have been much, much, much harder. Maybe one problem where one door closed was the only reason 5 other doors opened up. You see, that you didn't see it that way, but Allah Azza wa Jal designs sometimes that one problem actually creates 20 other solutions, countless other solutions. So this had to happen for those eases to come. So this is part of Allah's design. We can't recognize it, but it's always there. In other words, my mindset is, yes, I'm going through this problem, but with this problem, Allah is creating ease in my life for sure, and I have to find where it is. The problem I can see, the solution I have to look and discover where it is. But every experience you and I have, that some of the most terrible experiences you and I will have in this life, where you will start asking yourself, why am I being put through this? Why is this happening to me? What did I do to deserve this? What good can come out of this? Every one of those experiences has some ease, some relief, some good that comes with it that we are becoming blind to see. But Allah says it's there, it's right, you don't have to wait for it afterwards, it's right there at the same time. Now, ma'al usri yusra. But even beyond that, when you use the word with, what Allah is saying is that ease has been put with difficulty. Ease has been put with difficulty. Like He put the night with the day. Like He put the cloud with the rain. There are things that He put together. And in this life, what Allah decided to do is, if you and I want to experience ease, He designed it in a way that you first have to go through difficulty. And only by going through difficulty, with it will come the ease. And that's how He made all of life. Many of you are students. You have to go through the difficulty of studying before you experience the ease of graduation, the relief of getting to the next grade. You have to work hard at your work before the ease of a bonus comes, before a promotion comes. Without difficulty, that's not going to happen. You have to go through the difficulty of fixing your diet and eating better before you experience the ease of better health. A patient has to go through the difficulty maybe of surgery before they experience the ease of healing. That's just how Allah made life. You have to go through tough experiences in order to experience relief. That's Allah's design. That's just what it is. Now, as soon as you hear all of that, you tell yourself, well, with difficulty comes ease, so I'm going through a tough time right now, so I guess ease is coming, I'm going to relax and wait for it to come. No, Allah is telling us something more profound. He's saying, you have to exhaust yourself through the difficulty, fight through the difficulty. You can't just sit back and say, Allah will bring ease. He promised He will bring ease, so I'm just going to wait for that and cry until then. No. That's why He told the Prophet in the next ayah, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, He says, فَإِذَا فَرَغْتَ فَانْصَبْ. Very powerful words. When you find yourself free, exhaust yourself. And what in the world does that have to do with ease and difficulty? Allah does not want you and me sitting idle. When we are in difficulty, Allah actually wants us to exhaust ourselves. You see, other people, when they find themselves in difficulty, they sit back and start giving up. They get depressed, they get anxious, they start quitting. They take a back seat. But the believer, because of these ayah, oh, you're in difficulty? Well, the moment you find yourself having free time of any kind, exhaust yourself. Put yourself to work. Make yourself productive. The ulama would comment exhaustively on this ayah. When you free yourself from da'wah, busy yourself with, ibadah. When you free yourself from ibadah, busy yourself with da'wah. Like the Prophet ﷺ, every time he's exhausted from one task, he needs to busy himself with the other task. The question is, how much free time do you and I spend thinking about how terrible life is, sitting there doing nothing, letting our mind take us around in circles while we sit there completely unproductive, completely paralyzed? And Allah says, you have way too much free time on your hands and you're not exhausting yourself. When you're not exhausting yourself, you are allowing the difficulty to win. The ayah starts with a fa, which is called al-fa as-sababiyya. Therefore, Because you want ease to come, you better exhaust yourself. As a result of learning this, you better put yourself to work. So you and I have to actually live meaningful, productive lives. Sometimes it is easy to become overwhelmed with the experiences that we're having. It's easy to become overwhelmed with sadness or grief or nervousness or anxiety. It's okay to do that, but we have to learn to fight through that through Allah's words, find the strength to actually put ourselves to work and busy ourselves with something. Everything the Prophet did, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that kept him busy is two kinds of things. And I'll add even a third. For us, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is either busy doing something that makes Allah happy, or he's busy doing something that helps one of Allah's creations. That's it. Either he's doing something just for the sake of Allah, like he's praying, like he's remembering Allah, like he's doing dhikr. That's just for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal. Or he's helping someone else. He's guiding someone else. He's teaching someone else. He's actually even helping someone else earn a living. He's doing all kinds of help to somebody else. You have to ask yourself, what are the two things we're doing? Exhausting ourselves. Are we doing something that makes Allah happy? Or are we doing something that brings relief to somebody else? And that's actually what Allah told the Prophet ﷺ in a different surah too. You know, وَأَمَّا الْيَتِيمَ وَلَا تَقْهَرْ وَأَمَّا السَّائِلَ فَلَا تَنْهَرْ وَأَمَّا بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ فَحَدِّثْ. Why did he tell him all of that? He said, well, you used to be an orphan, now go take care of orphans. You used to be in a bankrupt situation, now make sure you help others that are in a bankrupt situation. Go help them. So we have to exhaust ourselves either doing something that draws us closer to Allah or gives relief to others. When you become concerned with Allah and when you become concerned with giving ease to others, Allah becomes concerned with giving ease to you. When you keep thinking about how bad your problems are, how terrible your life is, how everything is going the wrong way, nothing is ever going to get fixed, then you are too absorbed in yourself. You're too lost in yourself. And when you're lost in yourself, then Allah's help doesn't come that way. That's not how Allah's help comes. So He says, وَإِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ فَارْغَبْ. Exhaust yourself and focus yourself towards your Master. You see, these problems that you and I are having, today they're huge. All you can think about is this problem. But go a little further and you realize all of us are on a journey. And every single day we're making progress on that journey. And the conclusion of that journey is meeting with Allah. وَأَنَّ إِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ الْمُنْتَهَى. If you forget the fact that you're on a train or you're on a road and you're heading towards Allah, whether you realize it or not, and whether you like it or not, you're not standing still. This problem that you're going through did not bring a stop to your life. It's still moving on. And you and I are still going to be meeting with Allah Azza wa Jal. When you realize that no matter what I'm going through, that journey still continues, then it becomes easier for you to focus on your destination and lose sight of the fact that whatever I'm going through, whatever area I'm going through right now, I'm going to pass through it, I'm going to keep going. Because this is not my destination. My destination is Allah. Think of it, visualize it like that. When you're going through a road, you pass by an area that smells very bad. If you keep on moving, the smell's not going to stay with you, is it? It's not going to be there forever. You can pass through it and you're going to be in a better location. You might be going through an area that's dangerous. But it's not going to be dangerous forever. If you keep on moving, you're going to be in a safer place. That's how life is. We have to pass through these experiences. And Allah Azza wa Jalla says, every journey you pass through had some intended plan from Allah. You and I just have to ask ourselves, are we people that exhaust ourselves or not? What are we doing at the end of the day? You know, the third thing I was going to ask is, for us, most of our day is spent doing something for ourselves. And of course, we have our needs. Food is a need, clothing is a need, work is a need. We're doing that for ourselves. But what that free time, because the ayah wasn't about your 24/7, it was about when you are free. فَإِذَا فَرَغْتَ. When you're free. Okay, fine. You don't have a choice. You got to get up at 5 in the morning. You got to get to your job at 6 in the morning. You're working until 6 in the evening. Fine. You're stuck in traffic until 7:30. No problem. You didn't have a choice. You were not free. But what do you do with your time when you are free? What are you doing with it when you're free? And what you're doing with it when you're free will determine whether or not Allah will bring ease in your life. And what are we teaching our kids to do with their free time? The moment they have a free second, video games. The moment they have the free second, TV's on. We're not doing productive things. We're not exhausting ourselves in being something more than just self-serving or self-entertaining or self-consuming. The only thoughts are, what are we going to eat for lunch? What are we going to eat for dinner? Which movie are we going to watch? You want to watch something, want to play something, just entertain yourself, feed yourself, and lose yourself in these distractions. That's all it's become. A person can, lose themselves in games and play and entertainment. And you know what those things will do? They will only bring about more difficulty. I'm not saying you shouldn't play games and entertainment. I know it's summer, kids want to have a good time. That's fine. But they also need to be taught how to make good use of their time. They can't learn that if they don't learn that from you and me. When the moment we have free time, we start wasting it, we start squandering it away, and we don't do something productive with it, then that's the habit that they're learning in their own way. We're leading by example. We're modeling our behavior to them. It's an important thing that you and I live this. And when they say, why are you always doing something? Why are we always helping someone? Why are we always going to the masjid? Why are we always learning this? Why are we never having any, not enough free time? Every one of us has problems. There's not one of us that doesn't have problems. And you know what the hardest problems are? The hardest problems are not on the outside. The hardest problems are happening inside the chest. The hardest problems are what you're feeling. The hardest problems are your thoughts that are more paralyzing than anything happening on the outside. And look at this surah. The first ease Allah gave the Prophet ﷺ is Alam nashrah laka sadrak. We opened up your chest for you. We gave you calm. By the end of it, a person, when he hears that Allah gave His Messenger calm, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in the middle of the worst problems a human being could have, he's calm. Why is he at peace? And Allah describes that at the end, فَإِذَا فَرَغْتَ فَانْصَبْ وَإِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ فَارْغَبْ. If you can do that, it doesn't matter what people are saying to you. It doesn't matter what problems you're facing on the outside. You will have the greatest ease of all, and that's your chest will be at ease. Your heart will be at ease. You will be calm. Everybody else is crying, nervous, afraid. They're going through all kinds of emotional turbulence, and you find yourself more and more in a state of peace and in a state of calm because you're living by this profound truth. May Allah Azza wa Jal give calm to all of our hearts, and may Allah Azza wa Jal make us a people that find Sharh al-Sadr, that our hearts are opened up and our chests are expanded by the mercy of Allah. I pray that Allah makes us a people of stronger will, that we make better use of our free time, and that Allah Azza wa Jal gives us more and more and more ease, much bigger than any of the difficulties that we ever have to face in our lives. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Qur'an.